TSN 690 was the only one that
All right. Welcome to Ringside Report. I am Dave Simon. Fred Garcia is here. AJ DeLesio is here.
McGregor time.
It is McGregor time. UFC 246 going down Saturday. It's
coming
happening.
up, man.
It's like this Saturday. We don't have to wait any longer. This fight is actually going to happen.
The dream is coming true.
Conor versus Cowboy. It's going down this Saturday night. RingsideReport.net is where you want to go on Saturday night because we're going to be doing the live watch-along on the YouTube channel so you can watch us watch UFC 246, watch the Conor fight coming up on Saturday night. So you go to RingsideReport.net and all the info is there. You can like this video if you're watching this. You can like it. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. And you can click the bell so you get the notification every time we're on. We'll be on at 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night for the pay-per-view. And we're going to preview UFC 246 here on the show. AJ has already started the show. Like, before he got here, he's already upsetting me.
What?
Now he's playing with, like, boxing gloves for some reason. If you're watching the show, you see the silly props and the nonsense that AJ does
silly.
all
That's...
the time. Fred,
those are legit.
You saw and heard the conversation that was happening just before, just as we were coming on the air, Fred. And you see that AJ's already upset me. Like, AJ's already made me pretty mad.
Like, was it because I was almost late? You're going to blame me for the train?
You were almost late, but that has nothing to do with it.
It's like this ghetto train that keeps going and going and going and never ends. And you got to wait for it.
You're a ghetto train.
Like, sometimes I think you need to get into 2020, man.
Listen, man.
It's not like 1990 no more.
Listen, the argument is this. I'm a radio connoisseur. I listen to sports talk radio all the time. And you know what? I love radio. But Dave is new school. He used to listen to Justin Bieber and that kind of stuff. What do you think he's going to say?
What are you talking about, Justin Bieber?
Isn't that your guy that you like? I'm like
I
old school. I listen to
Bieber.
AC/DC. Freddie listens to Bon Jovi.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You listen to Justin Bieber. It's only normal that I like radio more than anything. I love radio. Without radio, I couldn't survive.
Right. So the conversation basically was you think you know more about radio than I do, even though I've been making a living in the radio business for 15 years. You think you know more about it than I do.
No, the argument is this, is that
I don't know more
I love listening to radio.
I don't know more about being a green leprechaun mascot buffoon jabroni, okay? I don't claim to know more about that than you do, AJ, because that's your whole milieu.
You know what? I miss running on the streets of the TSN studios. I was like, look, you know what? I wanted to do it out here, but...
Go run in the streets again, AJ.
As Conor, I'll do it again, man.
With
if Conor wins against Cowboy... I'm running the streets. You tell me the street, Dave, I'm running it.
So when Conor beats Cowboy Cerrone, which he will do coming up on Saturday,
hey, wait a sec.
You're going to run around in the streets and you're going to get hit by a car?
I came close the last time. But I thought, wait a sec, weren't you on the bandwagon that Conor was going to lose this?
No.
Freddie?
I think you might be mistaken with me. I haven't made my pick yet. I just like the odds on Cerrone. Like, if I had to put a little, like, friendly money, you know, something that I could afford, that I don't mind losing.
But friendly.
Exactly. Like, I'd put a little, like, 20 on Donald Cerrone, and right now I think it gives me, like, $52 of profit, so.
Well, it's minus 350 at this point, right?
Right now we're looking at Conor McGregor as a minus 350, Cerrone plus 265.
That's it? I thought it was more.
Well, it depends from where to where.
350.
No. It was up. I remember it was at minus 450. I think there were certain times when you could have bet and you could have made some good money if Cowboy wins.
No, last week the odds were closer. Conor's a bigger favorite today than he was last week when we were doing the show. Last week it was like minus 250 for Conor. Now it's minus 350.
Alrighty, Freddie.
But more than the gambling, I think it's the fight itself. Like, this week was pretty quiet for a Conor McGregor standard. Like, we're used to a lot more fireworks. We've had a little bit of an interview of him on ESPN and a little press conference where everybody was really nice to each other. But other than that, it doesn't feel like the typical Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah, but you know what? This, like, not to jump into it right away like I usually do, but the press conference was kind of surprising because if you looked at the press conference, you see this Cowboy guy, Cowboy Cerrone, with his hat on and his python jacket and everything, and he had like this dark kind of shadow on him. He looked like a bad dude. He looked like the bad guy. And then
You couldn't see his face.
You couldn't
under
see
that
his face.
cowboy
He looked
hat.
like a villain. It was
Yeah.
like really, really cool. I don't know if they did that on purpose or it was just a fluke or whatnot, but Cowboy looked like a villain. And what I found interesting was he was like dropping F-bombs like there was no tomorrow. You know how many bleeps were on that thing? What I was surprised is that Conor was actually like a saint. And I was like, wow, Conor is really kind of like the Conor in the beginning. He wasn't, and it was
Conor
just
in the
interesting.
beginning, I don't remember. Like
No,
to
he
me,
was more- he was-
this is a brand new Conor. If anything, I understand like this version because like at some point you can't just be trash talking while you're losing. Like he's on
But this-
like he hasn't won a fight in several years. What you want him to say? So actually, I'll applaud him to come with like a little more like sense.
But
not
Freddie, that was Conor in the beginning. He wasn't that wild till he started going into it a little bit further. I think he really exploded when he got into the Mayweather fight and that whole thing like just ballooned. And then Conor carried that on with Khabib, and then it got even more personal where it became
remember,
religious and it became really like he became a target. But Conor in the beginning was just a fast talker.
I don't know. He was a pretty
straight-
like him and Aldo. That rivalry was pretty nasty. Like I mean, it's just like Conor McGregor standards. I'm not saying nasty as if it was like over the top, but Conor McGregor's been wild for a while.
Yeah, but it seems like he's calmed down here, right? Seems like he's locked.
Well,
in.
like I say, what you want him to say? He's lost. He hasn't won in several years. What you want him to say?
Maybe
to
he's
the
taking
public?
his meds. Who knows?
Well,
But you know what? No, honestly, like I think the biggest problem with Conor is that he started to lose a fan base. Some people were like losing Conor because of the fact that he wasn't fighting anymore the way he used to fight. And I think the biggest problem was that his antics.
My mic's not working.
Really?
Yeah.
Pause.
Can you hear me? Pause. Hello. 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 Check. We're having a mic problem here. I just want to make sure we can fix it.
Let's blame it on Conor.
God damn it, man. I don't know what's going on here. There's an issue here with my mic. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Well, Johnny
Can you
says
hear
your mic sucks. So
Yeah, thanks, Johnny.
if
That's real
anything,
helpful.
this will be the pre-show.
How about this now? Are we hearing me now? Hello? I'd like to know. But I can't really tell. Okay. This sucks, guys. Sorry about this. Live shows, right? Sometimes this shit happens.
Hey, it happens all the time.
Are we all right now? Now it's fine. I don't know what happened. Huh.
It was those.
That's mysterious. Are we good now, guys? Give
We're
me a
good?
mic. Give me a mic test on everybody.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Check.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Check. 1, 2, 3.
Conor.
Is everybody good? We're getting a word that everybody's good now. I don't
Way
know
to
what
go.
was going on here.
Magic.
It happens.
I like to think it's magic.
Huh. All right. Well, we're back.
Listen, you know what? I was watching the news and they had the same problem today. Like they were having problems with like communication and putting up video feeds. I don't know. Maybe today is what is it? A lunar eclipse coming up soon?
I don't know.
Some super lunar eclipse? I have no idea.
We should probably restart the whole thing though for the radio side, I guess.
Really?
I don't know.
Ah,
Oh,
let it
let's
go.
just go.
Yeah, it's
if
fine.
anything, just cut that little part.
Not even let it go, man. People love when things happen.
Like you see,
Yeah, but
you
if
see
my, if
AJ.
but if my mic's not on the radio side, it doesn't sound. You know what I mean? It won't work.
But I love like AJ just loves his AM radio, but he's willing to let this pass. You know.
Yeah, because that is stuff.
AJ doesn't know shit
No,
about
man,
AM
AJ
radio.
AJ is a radio connoisseur, and this kind of stuff is like, hey, I like that. These guys are raw, but I can kind of hear Dave. What is he saying? Oh yeah.
I like that. You're fucking terrible at
What are
this,
you talking-
AJ.
Dave, don't
You're
swear.
really. What do you mean? Don't swear.
swear,
I'm not
you're on
doing a
radio.
radio show right now. You fuck.
That's what happens when you're young and wild, and you don't listen to radio. You got to be 35 plus, Dave, to understand radio.
All right, restart.
Again?
Shut up.
Yeah, I think we'd have
Oh,
to.
man, I had such
Well,
a
my
good
mic
rant
wasn't.
on, like,
My
Conor.
mic wasn't working, right? You didn't have a good rant on Connor. You
Yeah,
weren't saying
man.
shit about Connor. You suck, AJ. You're terrible.
You're just jealous because I had a good rant on Conor there. Now I have to restart, and I can't think about it. Freddie, what were we saying?
Johnny North says start over, so we're gonna start over
Okay, Johnny,
for the radio
Johnny
side.
says to start over. Let's start over.
3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome to Ringside Report. I'm Dave Simon. Fred Garcia's here. AJ DeLesio's here. We're on your radio every Friday night, and we're also on YouTube where you can catch all sorts of outtakes and bloopers. We had to kind of restart the show here, a little bit of an outtake, some technical issues, but we are on here on the radio every Friday night, and we've got a big show for you. UFC 246. We're going to preview Conor McGregor's return to the octagon against Donald the Cowboy Cerrone.
Or Cerrone.
That's a pretty big fight, right? That's a pretty big fight for Conor. It's a pretty big fight for Cerrone. I guess the biggest fight in Cerrone's career at this point, right? It's got to be it's the biggest money fight, and it's a fight that could change his life, coming up here against the biggest star that MMA's ever seen in Conor McGregor, the biggest money maker that the sport has ever had. Conor coming up, not having won a fight in like almost 4 years, like three and a bit years. He hasn't won since 2016 when he beat Eddie Alvarez. It's been a long time since we've seen Conor McGregor victorious, and he needs a win here. He needs a win big time, and we have a big-time fight and a big-time fight card coming up on Saturday night. It's UFC 246. Do join us for the UFC 246 watch-along, which will be happening coming up on Saturday night during the pay-per-view, 10 p.m. I'll be here. AJ will be here. Fred's going to be at a party. He won't be here. He's got another party he's got to go to.
Christmas party.
But we're going to be here 10 p.m. on Saturday night for the UFC 246 watch-along. Go to ringsidereport.net for more info on that. So, guys.
Tell me, Dave.
Conor McGregor.
I like how you just described it here, but I'll make a little correction. You said, like, this might be Cowboy Cerrone's most important fight or biggest fight. I'll tell you what, it's pretty big for Conor McGregor because he can't afford another loss. So, as far as important, this is a pretty important fight for Conor McGregor also. Cerrone's going to survive if he loses to Conor McGregor. If Conor loses, right now I feel Conor McGregor's hype train is on a little bit of a downfall. And if he loses this one, it's going to be tumbling down.
Yeah, but Freddie, let's not forget, like, Cowboy is coming off of, 2 losses in a row. He's 36 years old. Honestly, a lot of people are talking, including himself at some point, you never know when could be the end of Cerrone's career. And you know what? A loss to Conor might give him that step towards calling it quits. This guy's fought so many times. This is going to be his 51 fight.
Another AJ stat.
No, it's 51 fights that he's having now. I mean, this guy's had a career that is unbelievable. So he's coming to an end. Does he have what it takes to beat Conor? I don't think so. But you know what? I tip my hat to Cowboy. I've seen him fight live. Dave's seen him fight live. This guy is awesome. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. But you know what? Is it a big fight for Cerrone? Yes,
he's one of your favorite fighters of all time.
Yeah,
really.
The whole roster is.
Yeah, everybody's your favorite fighter.
Hey, listen, man. I only mentioned the ones that I like. The ones I don't like, I never mentioned. But the thing is that he needs this fight. It's a great way to retire with a big, big paycheck. And this is going to be a pay-per-view blockbuster. I mean, this is it. Where is Cerrone going to fight next?
Win or lose, Donald Cerrone is not retiring.
No, we need to find a term for when AJ goes into hype mode. You know, like hype mode AJ or whatever. Like AJ just did a promo for how excited he is about Cerrone and everything. It's just excitement. There's no analysis there.
Of course,
it's just
analysis.
No, there's no analysis.
Listen to this.
Fred gave analysis. Fred said, "Look, I put it to you guys, and I said, let's see what these guys are going to say."
Yeah, he's just checking the stats to see if I'm right.
Fred comes out and he says, well, this is a really big fight for Conor, too, because he needs to win. And, it's a big fight for Cerrone, but it's a huge fight for Conor. He definitely needs to win. Great point. Very true. You come out and you're like, Cerrone's one of my favorite fighters of all time. He's had a lot of fights. He fights all the time. You got to love Cerrone.
Yeah,
he's had
fights,
50 or 60 or 70 fights. I don't know.
Hey, don't go hashtag fake news there, Dave. I said 51.
All you are
and
is
stat shows it's 51.
You should change the hashtag to hashtag AJ News. It's the same thing.
Listen, first of all, for the listeners, this is part 2. Part 1 was where I really came out with some pretty heavy stuff, but Dave cut it out. I don't know what he did. Somebody cut
There
it
was
out.
nothing. It was just a lot of hype. It was just AJ hype talk while I was trying to figure out why my mic wasn't working.
Yeah.
That's
No,
all
no,
that was
actually,
happening.
We were talking about the press conference. That's what we forgot to get to. Where
Sure.
the press conference
so
was
it's,
awesome.
It's been very quiet. The press conference was very calm. Conor wasn't talking up until this week. He did a big long interview with Ariel Helwani where he talked about a bunch of different things, and then he did the press conference. And Cerrone was there, and AJ was really impressed by Cerrone's jacket that was, I think, python skin.
Python skin, yes.
And the fact that you couldn't see his face under the shadow of his big black cowboy hat. AJ was really impressed by the shadowing on Cerrone.
Yeah,
did I summarize your main point there,
Pretty
AJ?
much, but I don't know if they did that like if it was part of the show or it was just like a freak thing. But it looked really cool. Didn't it look cool, guys?
That's why
But
watching
again,
wrestling is great with you, because you have the same reaction. I don't know if it was part of the show or it was really cool, but this wrestling stuff is crazy.
But again, as Dave said, you went into hype mode where you're talking about like, oh, this is cool and all that, but not much analysis.
What are you talking about? I'm telling you that he had like this awesome villain look, and it was like part of the
Exactly,
props.
hype.
And Conor looked like a choir boy. He was like so well dressed, and he was looking good and talking like. He was, like I was trying to tell you earlier, he was talking like Conor did in the old days. He wasn't a Conor he was trash talking, but not like the way he was trash talking
old days?
with Mayweather.
Stop. What old days?
His early days starting with Dustin Poirier. You ever hear Conor in the early days talking? He was cool, man.
He was talking a lot of trash
Not
back
like
then.
he was talking
no,
like when he put
we've
it up
never
with
seen
Mayweather
Conor like
and
this.
with Khabib.
Incorrect. We've never seen Conor like this in the UFC, where he's being respectful to his opponent. That's never happened before in the UFC. Go back and watch every interview that Conor has ever had with any opponent coming up to the fight. He is disrespectful.
He's an angel.
He is saying he's going to knock them out. He's going to knock them
so
clean
what?
out. These guys can't handle him. They're not good enough to be in there. He is all respect to Donald Cerrone. Donald is a good man. He's been fighting a long time. He deserves this payday. He deserves it. It'll be a good fight. I'm going to entertain the crowd. I'm going to go in there. I'm concentrated. We've had a good camp. He's not saying, I'm going to knock Cerrone clean out. I'm going to knock his head off. I'm going to da-da-da. He's been doing that every single fight in the UFC. So when you say, Conor's back to the old days, I don't know what old days you're talking about.
The old days,
they're in your mind, bro.
No, bro.
They're in your mind. What are you talking about? What old days?
Mayweather was when he went up to the sky, man, with his like hype. And
trash Mayweather. Because Jose Aldo, he was super respectful.
Well, he was.
What are you talking about? Nate Diaz, he was super respectful. What are you saying right now?
Man,
have you been watching the sport over the past 10 years?
Dave,
where have you been, bro?
Dave, I was there before you were born in the sport.
I know you were. I know you were. That's why I think you're starting to lose it a little bit.
No, man.
You've been around for too long, AJ.
You're a Conor hater, I understand. But the thing is this.
You're the biggest Conor hater there is. I've always supported Conor.
I'm dressing green here. Where's your green?
Just because you're dressed in green like a leprechaun doesn't mean you're the one who supports Conor McGregor.
Hey, listen, man.
Look,
you can say all you want, but the bottom line is Conor went skyrocket when he went with Mayweather. Prior to that, he's like any other trash talker. Muhammad Ali was one of the biggest trash talkers of all. The bottom line is this. Conor did what he did.
Why did you just bring up Muhammad Ali there? What was that?
I'm not
Muhammad
sure.
Ali was a trash talker extraordinaire, man.
Figure this guy out for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference between. I hate comparing Conor McGregor and Muhammad Ali.
Why not?
Just
They're
because
two of the biggest names in combat history.
Yeah.
So tell me, what's up with you guys?
They're not.
Let's be honest. Like, you want to talk Conor?
Just because they talk trash doesn't mean they have anything to do with one another. They're two completely different guys, completely different eras, completely different cultural significance. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Listen, in the fighting game, it's not only about fists, and it's not only about knees and kicks in MMA. It's about getting into the mindset. So in boxing, the best guy to get into someone's mind was Muhammad Ali. The best guy in MMA to get into someone's mind is Conor McGregor.
You don't know that.
Find me another guy who
you
can
don't know
do it better
that.
than that.
Can
you know why I know that?
Do you have,
because he's a pay-per-view blockbuster. Find me someone else who can
do you have X-ray vision? Do you have X-ray vision?
When it comes to fighting, I pretty much
No,
have
you
a
don't.
pretty good hand. In
You
like,
can't
what's
see
coming
into
and not.
people's minds.
I could get into someone's
You
mind.
don't know who gets
getting
into
into your
somebody's
minds, man.
mind better than somebody else.
Conor McGregor's the champ.
Yeah, well, what about Floyd Mayweather? He seems to get into his opponent's heads pretty good, too.
He could,
For you
sure.
to say, no one's ever got into an opponent's
better than
head
Muhammad
like
Ali,
Muhammad
that's for
Ali
sure.
or Conor McGregor. They're the two best. It's just based on nothing. It's more AJ hype.
No, man. That's factual, my friend.
It's not factual.
That's called. That's,
you can't.
That's the mindset of combat.
You cannot measure how much one man has got into another man's head. That is an immeasurable thing. It's not fact. There's no fact behind that.
Listen,
you can't measure it, AJ. It's not science.
Listen, it is a science.
It's not science.
Khabib lost his mind to jump over a fence.
Can we
You're
just-
making me so mad right
Hey,
now.
man, that's what Conor does. I won.
No, again, it's stupid hype. It's what I hate about this Conor McGregor. Honestly, there hasn't been any analysis in the last like 10 minutes. It's just been like stupid hype on Conor McGregor.
And that's the beauty about Conor.
No,
brings
it's
out
awful.
The best and the worst out of
no, he
people.
brings out the worst. Just the
Why?
worst.
Give it to
Why?
us, Fred. What should we be looking at in this fight? What's important?
Can we
here?
get back to what I was saying earlier, where I'm saying like Donald Cerrone, what you said about Donald Cerrone retiring, I completely disagree. Like, please let me finish. Donald Cerrone, this is just another fight for him. He's not the one that's bringing in most of the cash, so he's gonna make a good payday. Yeah, it's gonna change his life. Yeah, but Donald Cerrone's still gonna fight. The guy that needs this win is Conor McGregor, because right now his hype, like, it's going down. At some point, you can't be talking trash and not backing it up. If he loses again, like, I'll be interested to see like the pay-per-view numbers for this one. And if he loses, I would be scared for the next pay-per-view. Like, if Conor McGregor loses another one, he becomes just one of any other dude.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Conor needs to win this fight way more than Cerrone does. I think it would be nice for Cerrone to win. It would raise his profile, would make him a lot of money. But if Conor doesn't win this fight, then a lot of things don't happen for him. You know, there's a whole career that could happen over the next 2-3 years that won't happen if he loses to Donald Cerrone here on Saturday. So he needs to win this fight way more than Cerrone does. If he doesn't win this fight, forget about a Khabib rematch, forget about a Floyd boxing match, forget about calling your own shots, forget about the $80 million paydays that apparently, you know, he says he's going to make here. He says he made $50 million for Khabib. He expects to make $80 million here for this Cerrone fight. He's making huge money, but if he continues to lose, and again, the last fight he won was against Eddie Alvarez in October of 2016 or November of 2016. It was a long time ago, and he has only fought twice since, and they were both losses. One of them, of course, it was November 2016. One of them was the boxing match, but the other one was an MMA fight with Khabib that was in October of 2018, and that was Conor's last fight. So Conor needs to come back and win. He needs to remind people that he can be a successful combat sports athlete, because it's been 3 years and a bit since he's won a fight.
Yeah, but and here I go back to this, guys, so I'm going to have to start giving you some other facts. Conor, you're saying, hasn't won in so long, but I think Conor's fought amazingly well, considering that he stepped outside of the MMA circuit and went into boxing. He went 10 rounds against the best boxer.
But that's
like,
not the
of this time.
discussion.
But the thing is this.
Let me ask you something,
Conor,
AJ.
No matter how much he loses, he's still a pay-per-view
This
blockbuster,
guy.
guys. Let's be honest.
But
you
that's
need
my
Conor.
point.
The UFC needs Conor. And Conor knows, yeah, you're right, I'll give it to you. He needs this win. But the thing is that even if Conor loses, okay, let's see he loses.
Come on.
As long as it's a good fight.
Come on.
And there's fireworks that are lit up.
If he
People
loses
are
to
gonna
Donald
still come.
Cerrone, it's still going to be a big deal for Conor's next fight? Really? Who's he going to fight?
and
Who
I
do you even throw at him if he loses to Cerrone? Like some guy you've never heard of?
No. I think he could still fight somebody like Masvidal for the BMF title or something like that. That could happen.
If
And you know what?
he
People are
loses
gonna-
to Cerrone.
If he loses to Cerrone, and people are still going to come out to watch that fight.
ridiculous.
Because Conor, listen, you're going to win and lose in combat sports. George St-Pierre has lost. He lost to Matt Serra, which was like out of this world. He came back and took back that belt. Anybody could lose. Muhammad Ali has lost. You name it. Mike Tyson has lost. And the thing is that Conor's coming back. You know what? If he's been fighting like crap the last years, he didn't fight You know what? People get on Conor's back with the Khabib fight, but the bottom line is that he stuffed 7 takedowns on Khabib.
Come on, man.
And then on the 4th round, he was gassed. The thing is that that's not Conor's fight. Conor's fight is somebody like Cerrone, who he's going to come in. He's going to come out with fireworks in the 1st and 2nd round. That's what Conor does well. He comes in and lays that heavy left. And you know what? This is Conor's fight.
But do you not recognize that if you lose fights and you don't win fights, the more fights you lose, the less you're worth on the open market as far as being a pay-per-view value?
Absolutely. But
so
if Anderson,
what are you saying then?
So
why are you telling me that, it doesn't matter if he loses? It does matter if he loses.
Yes.
It matters a lot.
Listen, if he wins, everybody wins. Our shows win, the UFC wins, and every other MMA show.
Again, we're going back into hype. Please,
but
AJ. Please,
hype
AJ,
mode.
Stop. I got some
Fred's
numbers.
going to give you some facts.
Okay, I got some numbers.
Tell me.
His last pay-per-view supposedly sold 2.5 million with Khabib, which is incredible, okay? But I'm going to make a wild prediction here that this next pay-per-view doesn't come near to that.
You're saying this one was
Yeah, exactly. It's probably going to sell over 1 million because
agree.
it's still Conor McGregor, but it doesn't come anywhere near. So let's say it just sells 1 million, 1.5 million, and he loses. Well, his next one, he's going to be quickly under the million. At some point, you can't you say he's a big star, and I completely agree, but you can't just be losing and expect your pay-per-view numbers to still go up. 2.4 million. I predict that this pay-per-view this weekend doesn't come close to that. If it goes over 1.5 million, I'd be very surprised.
You know what, Fred? I think it's going to get closer to 2 million than anything. I mean, this fight is being hyped. Conor's not coming out and trash talking, but every you name it, there's so much hype, bars, everything is like promoting the crap out of this fight. And you know what? Even the ESPN pay-per-view, it's gone up. It's more expensive to watch this fight than it was with the Khabib fight. The bottom line is that Conor is still going to sell over 1 million pay-per-views with Conor Cerrone. If he was fighting Masvidal, or if he was fighting George, or if he was fighting Khabib 2 again, it hit over 2.5, I guarantee you.
So what?
The bottom
What's
line
your point?
My point is that Conor sells no matter what. And even if he loses to Cerrone and he comes back, he's still going to hit 1 million.
No.
Because it's the Conor. That's the Conor
If
mystique.
he keeps losing, he's not going to sell pay-per-views.
Yeah, but he has to lose. He's coming back. It's been a year.
No, plus there's some negativity around him. No, honestly, look, when Conor McGregor was on his hype, when he defeated Jose Aldo, when after that he fought Eddie Alvarez and all that, that was the Conor McGregor getting bigger and bigger and bigger. He's topped right now. His highest earning potential is behind him. If he wants to get back there, he needs to win. That I don't think is debatable.
But that's it. He needs to win this fight if he wants to get back to a place where he can continue to grow with his earnings, right? Where he can not only make whatever 50, 80 million, but continue and get more and 100 and 120. If he is able to win this fight, then the fights just get bigger and bigger. Then the George Masvidal fight is a possibility. Khabib Nurmagomedov fight is possible. All sorts of fights then show up for Conor McGregor if he's able to beat Donald Cerrone. But if he's not, well,
But let's
you have fewer options out there, and you're not going to make as much money.
Well,
and AJ, for some reason, wants to argue that fact. Even though that is a fact, AJ loves to argue facts and then make up things that aren't actually facts.
Hey, listen, man, the truth is that Conor is the name. He's the marketing beast, and that's factual. This is what it's going to come down to. If Cerrone is able to do
he's a marketing beast. That's
he's
a
a
fact.
marketing beast, man.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No, I know what you mean, but that's fine.
Okay, whatever. But the truth is, it's Conor. You want to see Conor. The UFC wants to see Conor win. And maybe even Cowboy Cerrone wants to see Conor win.
I think he does. I think he does.
You know what? He there's a lot of respect there. And you know what? I have a lot of respect for Cowboy. Like I was saying earlier, he's an awesome fighter. But he's 36 years old who's had a career that over 51 fights coming in this Saturday.
Are you sure you got that right?
I'm right, bud.
Okay.
So the thing is this. Am I right, Freddie? Say it, Freddie. Don't just shake it. People want to hear.
This time you're right. It's
this time I'm always right.
No, you said earlier he had
51. 51.
Yeah, but did you
Saturday.
see Cerrone at the press conference?
He looks great.
All he did was thank McGregor. Thanks, Conor, for this fight. Oh, thanks, Conor. Oh, it's so cool. And then they're just joking around. Cerrone didn't say at one point.
I hope he's bluffing. Like he said, like, oh, I like to fight standing up with Conor. I hope fight starts, he goes straight for a double leg or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Bang.
that would be smart. That would be I would think, smart way to do it.
Well,
You definitely have to stand. You can't just shoot for a takedown. He's going to see that coming, obviously. And he said that. He's like, what, do you think I'm just going to dive for a takedown?
Well,
He can't just do that. But it's like, he's like, okay, but Conor on his back is less dangerous than Conor standing up. So, why not put him there, gain some points, soften him up a little bit? It does seem like a way to beat Conor McGregor. Like, if you're going to beat this guy, you want to beat him on the ground because he's a very good striker. It's not like saying anything crazy. It's not really any kind of groundbreaking formula. It's like, well, Conor is a very good striker, so maybe you want to put him on his back. Like, maybe you want to eliminate the punches that he can throw. So put him on his back. Khabib did it. It seemed to work. When Conor was on the ground with Nate choked him out. So, it seems to be a good strategy.
But the thing with Cerrone is Cerrone comes out here wanting to entertain, as most fighters want to come in and just finish the fight.
Yeah.
Cowboys always wanted to entertain. He can probably take down Conor and probably try to go for that submission. And you know what? That most of his wins in his career has come from submissions. But the thing with Cowboy is he likes to entertain, and he's coming out and he's gonna stand up and he's gonna fight toe to toe. And you know what?
Should look to win.
But you know what? That's exactly what I'm worried about. I'm worried about Cowboy Cerrone coming into the fight with the attitude of, well, shoot, man, Conor, he's giving me this fight. He's being so nice. He's being so respectful. He's got young kids. I've got a young kid. We're both fathers. We're both fighters. It's all cool. He really needs this fight, so I'm going to go in there. We're going to entertain the crowd. I'm getting paid really well, and we'll see what happens, kind of roll the dice. And that will probably wind up in him getting punched and maybe knocked unconscious. But if he were to say, you know what, forget everybody. I don't care what people think. I'm going to bore everybody. I'm going to take Conor down, and I'm just going to lay and pray for a while. You might win some rounds. You might wind up winning a 5-round decision type of fight, and then you beat Conor McGregor. And, hey, whether it's boring or not, doors open up for you. Like, I think Cerrone's going to totally be the guy that everybody wants him to be, the cowboy, ready to go out and fight and say, oh, Conor, I'm going to give you the fight that you want because I'm a real fighter and real fighters gunsling for some reason.
I'll tell you what.
But I think... I think Cowboy basically is a better wrestler than Conor is,
for sure.
And if he used that, he might win the fight.
Well, absolutely. But a couple of weeks ago, we were talking also about, like, I'm interested to see Conor's power against Cerrone. Like, we're used to see Conor knocking out guys at 145 and 155. I want to see if he hurts Cerrone, and I think we'll know it early. Like, if Conor's punches hurt Cerrone, we'll figure that out early in the first round, and Cerrone might just change his game plan. Like, if he's not able to strike with Conor, he won't have a choice to pursue a takedown.
And that's a good point, though, because Conor, you talk about knocking guys out at 155. He knocked one guy out at 155. That was Eddie Alvarez. One time, right? Like, his 2 fights with Nate at 170, he lost one, and he won one, but he won one by decision. So,
but most of his fights has been won by KO, right?
Does the power translate up when you're fighting a bigger guy at 155 or now 170 pounds here on Saturday?
Look, Fred, just to get back to what you were saying, I agree with you. The thing with Cowboy is that he's such a slow starter. His first and second round, he doesn't start picking it up to the third, fourth, fifth. Where Conor comes in, his first 2 rounds, this guy has heavy striking. And the thing with you were saying about how Conor can, match sort of like Cowboy's skills in punching is that Conor has great boxing skills. And the problem with Cowboy Cerrone is that he has a very weak defense in boxing. His boxing defense is weak. So if you're not able to survive those first 2 rounds, Conor is going to knock you out. And this is the problem. He's a slow starter with very poor defensive skills. Conor has heavy hands, not the best jabber in the game. But you know what? If he's going to come out as an aggressive fighter like he usually does to get those wins, Cowboy's going down in the first and second round. One of those 2 rounds, he's going down.
That's my prediction as well, AJ.
What?
I know. I hate to agree with you so much.
What?
But I think Conor's gonna beat him in within the first 10 minutes of the fight. I think Conor knocks Cowboy out probably in the second round. 2 minutes 12 seconds in the second round. All right, if you want to get real specific.
How much? What?
2 minutes 12 seconds. Round 2. Conor McGregor by TKO ref stoppage.
Johnny, mark that down.
Well, I'm actually putting $20 on Cerrone, so I'm going to pick Cerrone, even though, like, McGregor's supposed to win this fight on paper, but, hey, if Cerrone wins, I'm going to look like a genius.
Yeah, but how? How do you think he's going to win, Freddie?
TKO round
TKO? Wow.
3 or 4, because
By
McGregor's going to be tired at some point.
Are you talking, like, by fist or kick?
Some ground and pound, something. Conor's going to be overwhelmed. Cerrone will have better cardio.
No, it's going to be all Conor, Fred. Waylon and Willie told you, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys because they get knocked out by Conor McGregor. That's the song, right? That's the song. It's a good song.
Well, it's whiskey versus Budweiser. Who wins here?
Oh, whiskey's stronger, isn't it? Much stronger.
Much stronger. You know,
Are we
very
gonna,
raw.
Are we going to be drinking some whiskey together Saturday night?
Why don't we bring some Budweiser and some like whiskey and have like a cowboy like proper 12 party?
I will drink a little whiskey, but I will not drink a Budweiser.
Why not?
Because I don't like beer.
It's the king of beers, Dave.
It's something that the Ringside Report universe might not know about me. I do not like beer at all. I never drink it. I don't like the taste. I don't like it.
Not a big beer fan, but I will try once
it's a good thing AJ is.
Once they get the marijuana beers, I'll definitely try one of those.
Beer? Are you joking?
I'd rather just like a normal edible. I wouldn't try a weed beer. I'd try a weed tea.
You would.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would.
You would.
Well, if you gave one to me.
Like, guys, have you ever had like Guinness or
Yeah, I've had it. I don't like it. I've tried it. I don't like it.
Like how?
Not for me.
Having a Guinness.
Well, yeah, not for me, not for Fred. We don't like to drink beer. All right.
Now I know why you guys are so argumentative, because you don't drink beer. Beer drinkers like to fight.
Yeah, exactly. They're annoying. Beer drinkers are annoying.
Well, some of my friends are beer drinkers. That's all right.
WWE, like I thought they were.
We can drink a little whiskey though if you want on Saturday. I still got some of that.
What?
The gold Johnny.
Oh, that gold Johnny. Is Johnny North coming to this?
I don't know.
Come on, Johnny, make your way here. We'll have some Johnny Walker.
Tell you who's not coming.
Freddie.
Rosy Face.
Rosy Face. Yeah,
He's
Rosy
banned.
Face has been banned.
He's banned.
That's it.
All right, we got to take a short pause here on the radio side. We're going to come back and we'll tell you what else is on this card. Wow. So officially here, Freddie picking Donald Cerrone, AJ and I agreeing on Conor McGregor by knockout within the first couple of rounds. We're going to take a short pause, tell you what's on the rest of the card. UFC 246, Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington in the co-main event. Alexei Oleinik is on this card. Anthony Pettis taking on Carlos Diego Ferreira. Some good fights here, UFC 246. We'll get to that when we come back. Stay with us.
Cha-ching.
Yo, AJ, stop pissing me off so much.
Hey, listen, the first part of it, is it on Facebook? Was that live?
Yeah.
So we can't get away from that. I thought that was great. I thought it was.
I
thought it was raw. It was fun.
Well, you couldn't hear me. So, like, if we're doing a radio show and you can't hear me, and we've only done like 5 minutes, you might as well just start over when we get the mics working again.
It's too bad because me and Freddie were like really having a good discussion there. We were really getting into it, you know.
Were you?
And then, you were like not talking that much either.
Yeah, because I was trying to fix the problem.
Yeah, but that's why we don't have to cut it off. You weren't talking that much. Just your intro, maybe people didn't hear. No, Freddie.
I'm not sure, man. We'll listen. We'll see after.
Well, AJ would know because AJ is a radio expert. He knows how to edit audio.
Not that. I like to listen, man. When I'm driving and cruising, man, I like listening to radio. What's wrong with that?
But I think you need to be here a little earlier now because, like, you get here and you're a little too hyper. Like, you don't have enough time to relax.
Man.
Like, I know you don't smoke weed, but if you stay next to me and Dave while we're smoking weed, that always helps to relax.
Dave,
I think.
No. First of all, Freddie, no. Let me remind
No.
you of a little incident that happened back at the TSN studios. Dave, remember when you gave me that hot box? Actually, it was with you, Fred.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the hot box incident? So, like, quickly, I'm going to tell you something. So, this was about a year ago. We were in like a bus stop and Freddie and Dave were like smoking and I was just like yapping with them, but not realizing I was like, they were throwing smoke on me. And I'm telling you, man, it was a rough night because I had my notes like you see here. I always bring my notes. And I swear to
That's
God.
what I'm saying. Every week we need you to come like a little earlier because like you're a little on the edge right now.
I'm not on the edge, but let me tell you what happened. So
AJ,
I'm in the studio.
You need some secondhand smoke.
That secondhand smoke made me go nuts. And I'm going to tell you, I was in the studio, and then I remember, like, where's my paper? I couldn't find my paper. I started flipping out. I don't know why I was flipping out. But then I took off out of the studio, and I went down. Dave gave me his key for some reason. I flew out of there, and I ended up in, like, some basement of TSN's or Bell Media Studios, and I was seeing cats walking around, and it was, like, freaking me out. Remember that whole incident with the cats? I was, like, seeing cats in, like, the studio, and I was flipping out. And then eventually, like, I got back just on time to get on radio live without my notes, which I was still freaking out. And at the end of the show, we found the notes.
I'll tell you what.
Guess where? In that hot box in the bus stop.
I'll tell you what. We'll make a deal, okay? Me and Fred will each drink a beer.
Okay.
If you smoke a joint.
I don't know, man. I shouldn't, like, promote that for...
What? Marijuana is less damaging than beer.
Yeah, don't be scared, homie.
No, I'm not. But
we'll be doing way more damage to our bodies than you'll be doing to yours.
No, actually, marijuana, like, I've been reading studies on it. It's supposed to be, like, really good for, like, inflammation. And, like, there's studies on, like, Parkinson's and, like, Alzheimer's.
Come on, you're a jiu-jitsu guy. Jiu-jitsu people love marijuana.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
No, I agree with that.
All right,
It's like a good trend. But
I got to tell you a little bit about our friends over at
marijuana.
IP Vanish. So IP Vanish, VPN, and secure storage from $4.12 a month. And they have a new promotion right now. Any new user that visits IP Vanish from now through January 31st can get the perfect privacy pair for even less. Protect everything from your internet connection to your files with our IP Vanish and Sugar Sync bundle. So go to IP Vanish. You go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. That's vpn.ringsidereport.net. And you can save up to 66% right now on IP Vanish with this limited time discount. So use the following details here. It'll be, you'll get 2 years of VPN and secure storage. And this offer will end January 31st. So act right now. Go there right now. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. Secure yourself on the internet. Stay safe when you're using your devices on a Wi-Fi hotspot. You're using public Wi-Fi. You need to secure yourself. You need a VPN. IP Vanish is the VPN that you need. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net right now and get yourself safe and secure your devices, your phone, your tablets, whatever it is. Secure yourself on the internet with IP Vanish.
Very good, Dave. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Is it over?
Shut up, AJ. Ringside Report Network, we've been producing podcasts for a long time now, and many of you have been... What is going on here?
What's happening now?
Where are we? Where did we go?
IP vanished. It really vanished.
We vanished. The hell happened there?
I'm not sure what happened. Oh.
I don't know. We got like a... That was weird.
What happened, Dave?
I don't know. The screen switched up in the wrong way.
Maybe we have a hacker on.
I don't know what happened there. We're having all sorts of technical problems here, guys. And I'm blaming you.
What are you blaming me for?
Because it's all your fault.
I'm not the IT guy.
Shit.
Where's our IT team?
At the Ringside Report Network, we've been producing podcasts for a long time. A lot of you have been using Stitcher to stream or download our shows. Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report. Stitcher offering you the Ringside Report universe. As part of the sponsorship, a special offer on the premium version of their service. Now, besides all of our shows, you can listen to over 100,000 podcasts on your iPhone, Android tablet, PC, Amazon Echo, on-demand ad-free with Stitcher Premium. And you also get access to Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and more. It's just $4.99 a month, $34.99 a year. Go to Stitcher.com/premium to sign up today. That is Stitcher.com/premium. Use the promo code RINGSIDE for a free month when you sign up, and let Stitcher know that we sent you. So you go to Stitcher.com/premium, promo code RINGSIDE for Stitcher Premium.
Fantastic, Dave.
AJ, what are you doing?
Fantastic. Oh, yeah,
What did I tell you?
I couldn't help it. Johnny was saying we have a great show and everything.
What did I tell you?
It was like...
Give me your phone.
No, Johnny said...
Give me your phone. I told you not to be on the chat while you're on the show. It's ridiculous. Why would you be on the chat while you're on the
Dave is going psycho.
You know why I'm going psycho? Because AJ's being ridiculous.
Johnny's on my side, man. He said
AJ,
don't smoke in bus stops.
When I tell you something, it's what it is. That's it. It's what it is. And if you don't like it, then I will change the password on the Facebook and Instagram accounts, and I will bar you from the fucking accounts.
Listen, that's
it's
my
very
account.
simple.
It's Danny Brook, man.
No, it's not Danny Brook that you're posting this shit on. You're posting shit on Ringside Report, Instagram, and Facebook, and I tell you there's certain things you shouldn't be doing, and then you argue with me and you don't listen. So you know what? It's fine. I will change the password. You'll be barred from this shit, and then you won't have access anymore.
Tell these guys what's going on.
No,
I just put
AJ,
a comment on
it's
a
what
site.
it is. When I tell you something, that's it. Fred gets it. Fred knows.
Judge Dave.
It's like Judge.
How many
Death.
times do I have to tell you I'm the boss of Ringside Report? How many times do I have to tell you?
I did call
I'm
you
in
the head
charge.
honcho.
El
Hey, listen,
Duce.
before we start...
God damn it, AJ.
Listen, before
El
before you start
Presidente.
flipping out
Like
and getting a stroke or
the
something,
show
listen
existed
to this.
before you. It'll exist when you're gone, okay?
Hey, what are you trying to say, man?
You know what I'm saying.
Make sure it's a good tribute, by the way.
You know how many
Take the clips.
You know how many co-hosts have come and gone over the years? You know how many guys that I don't even know exist anymore?
Like who?
I mean, it's been pretty stable since. Like, I'm feeling insulted right now. Like,
Freddie, me too.
I've been here for a lot of years.
No,
and
no,
it's
no.
been
Do
stable
we have to
since.
form a union here?
Fred, you
Freddie,
know...
you want to start a union
Fred,
against Dave?
Fred, you know I love you like a brother, and you will always be on the show. Fred is forever. Fred, then, now, Fred forever.
And you're trying to insult me and Johnny?
Well, you argue with me too much, and Johnny blocks my other podcasts on Twitter. He
And
blocked...
first of all, Johnny
Which one?
agrees with me
The
all
one
the time.
that's too lefty?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't really promote that one.
Well, that's
either.
okay.
Oh,
You
the
don't...
leftist? Oh, yeah. Freddie, you got a point there. It's a little...
My co-host is super conservative.
So what? Why are you having a show like that for? This is a show.
Yeah, but
What is that weird stuff?
Johnny blocked the Irreparable Damage account on Twitter. Why?
Bravo, Johnny.
Why?
Bravo.
Why?
You must have
Hey,
said
you know what? We
something
should do
that
our
he
own
didn't
podcast.
like.
So
You know
he's
what?
on thin ice
Listen,
now,
we should
Johnny.
do
You're
our
on
own
thin
podcast.
ice.
This is what we're going to do. Johnny, me, you, and Freddie are going to open up our own podcast versus, like, Dave and his guy over there, the, who was his name? The lefty guy. Anyways, that's going to be the new podcast. Do you want to do it? We'll talk about our stuff. And then
Yeah, do it. No, I dare you. Do it. You won't do it.
Because you're not going to agree with most of our stuff. That
I
me and
don't.
Freddie
No, but
agree
I
with.
don't care. No. I'm saying you do
listen.
it. No. It's on you.
I don't want to do it. I don't have time for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen. First of all,
You're like, hey, maybe I should. Me and Freddie and
Yeah,
Johnny
but-
should do a podcast. Okay, do a podcast. Go ahead.
Well, we could technically. We could do the
Not here.
the
You want to start back the one in the restaurant? Where was that? At PJ's there?
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny in the
I've
dark.
seen what happens when you and Johnny North put a production together.
Hey, man,
you
we
can't
had-
see anything.
Yeah, but
and
we-
Johnny North's creepily behind the camera like he's filming a one-man
Hey,
porno.
listen, Matt. Yeah, that's true. He does look like.
Yeah.
He does look like
he's
a
a
porn
creepy
star.
like he's a
Yeah,
creepy
he does.
porno director.
Well, he's got the body.
and
for
you're
it.
about to take off your pants in the bar. It's disgusting.
Hey, listen. First of all, we got a lot of viewers on that. You remember that? We got hits like crazy. Johnny knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, you got
Anyways, let me
12
get
whole
back-
viewers, man. It's amazing.
No, we had in the hundreds, and it just kept rising and rising, kind of like a porn video. But listen to this. I'm going to tell you something, Dave. Let's get back to something very important.
Let's
reading
get back to
something-
the radio
No,
show,
I was talking about. I was going to get to The Rock. His dad died. I was reading that.
I know.
Wow, it's so sad. I didn't know he was a wrestler.
Fuck up.
The Rock.
I found out that he was Canadian, so like I guess
What?
the Rock is ours.
You're kidding? He's not Canadian?
Well, the Rock's not Canadian, but Rocky Johnson was Canadian from what I read.
What do you know?
Yeah. Tomorrow on Dave and Johnny Live, we're going to do a whole tribute to Rocky Johnson. We're going to talk about Rocky Johnson, his career, his life, The Rock.
Did you know he was Canadian?
Amherst, Nova Scotia. Yeah, of course. He's from Nova Scotia. You think I don't know?
Okay, I thought Freddie had one.
Who's
on
Mr. No? You think? Oh, sorry. You know more about Nova Scotia than I do too. Is that it? Because you've been there so many times, right?
I've been from coast to coast. I'm gonna tell
Every
you something, Dave.
every
I
summer
drove-
you go to Nova
Listen,
Scotia
I'm the
for
fir-
like
I'm gonna
15
tell you,
years, right?
As a true Canadian, I've gone from sea to see. I drove from Montreal to Vancouver, Northern Ontario to Nova Scotia. Took the boats to go to Newfoundland from Port aux
Why don't you go do it again now?
And come around. And
do it again right
Canadian,
now.
Dave.
Every time you say I'm going to tell you something, we know you're going to tell something, but it's a little too long every time.
What are you talking about? I just said I went coast to coast, man. I drove like coast to coast. Where's Don Cherry when you need him? What's happening with Don Cherry?
You don't need him.
I need Don Cherry. Fred
I don't need
Don
him.
Cherry.
I don't need him. I've never needed him for
Don
anything.
Cherry. Bring him back.
I don't care about that guy.
Figures. That's why you have that podcast.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
You suck, AJ.
Too bad we didn't have that on radio where people really listen to.
Oh, you're fucking dumb. You're so dumb,
You
man.
know. Sorry, Fred.
Stop hitting Fred. You just hit Fred?
I just give him like the uppercut.
That's all right, man. I'm a conservative. I could take it. I'm not going to say he bullied me or anything.
Boom. Number 2. And
My co-host on that show is like a conservative guy. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
does he wear a tie to bed? Ask
I
me.
don't.
Probably
why?
he does.
Do you?
No, because like that conservative you probably do. But me and Freddie, we wear our boxers. And Johnny probably wears nothing.
Why are you talking about what you're wearing in bed now? What is going on?
Because we're okay. We're open, man. We're open to everything.
You're open to everything. That's what conservatives are known for, being open to everything.
We are.
Okay.
See, Freddie?
Except the government.
Yeah. Until like gay rights and shit like that.
Oh, no. There we go. Now it's going to get wild.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the show.
Cool.
Hey, what are we talking about? Is there any else on that card that's worth it?
You fucker, AJ. I'm going to kick your ass. You know that? I don't care, AJ. I'm coming after you after the show. I'm going to kick your ass.
I'm sleep deprived, bud.
Yeah, you're going to take a vicious beating. You're in trouble. I'm feeling very sharp.
I'll be back in jiu-jitsu next week on Monday. I'm going to take a beating. Don't worry. Everybody's going to give me a beating on your behalf.
Well, you were scared to come roll with me and Fred because you were going to take a beating.
I have to take care of my mom.
You would have smashed him. All right. It's comeback time.
Isn't that what Connor usually says?
All right. Welcome back. It's Ringside Report. I'm Dave Simon. Fred Garcia is here. AJ DeLesio, unfortunately, still here.
What?
RingsideReport.net is the website. And, oh, man, I'm going to have to spend, like, several hours with you on Saturday, right?
It's going to be a blast. Hey, listen.
I'm going to need to drink, I think.
Listen, just get back to what happened.
Why are we spending time together on Saturday, AJ? Plug the thing.
Okay, so on Saturday, if you're lonely and depressed and you have nobody to watch the fights because you're in a relationship.
Or if you're not lonely and depressed,
well,
or,
no, because
if you're
usually
cool.
when you're in a relationship and you're like, I want to go see the UFC and like it doesn't go well.
So you're
what
saying
gonna do is
lonely?
stay home.
You're saying being
have
in
a
a
romantic-
relationship causes you to be lonely and depressed? Are you talking about your own life right now? What's going on?
My life is like AJ's
right?
life is like full of
You okay? You're
entertainment.
happy?
Don't forget, this is on the radio where
Yes,
your family's going to
listen. To
listen.
this. So if you want to have a date night with the boys this Saturday, we're gonna have a watch along party, which we usually do. Oh yeah, keep looking at the camera. So we're gonna have a watch along party with Dave, AJ, Ben, Rosie Face's band. So you won't see Rosie Face. Fred's gonna be at a Christmas party in January. Don't ask me how. And maybe Muscles Mark will be here.
Maybe Paul.
Paul, yep. We need Paul Construction with no marketing. And we're going to have Muscles Marco possibly here.
Brother
which
Paul.
we haven't seen. Brother Paul. Fred Standen. So this Saturday, watch along party. You're going to love it. Join us. You're going to have fun. Man.
How do you watch it, AJ?
You could just like watch it on Facebook Live. You can watch it on YouTube Live.
You search Ringside Report on Facebook,
Report,
right?
Exactly.
Like
Ringside
the
Report.
like the page.
Like that page is so important. Or go to our YouTube channel, ringsidereport.net, spelled DOTNET. Watch the boys. Grab some chips. Grab a Budweiser, because Dave doesn't drink beer. Only real fighters drink beer. And you can sit with us and have fun. A little date night. Freddie will probably watch us too at the Christmas party. Freddie, are you? See, there you go.
Yeah. So there'll be a link on our website too, ringsidereport.net. Saturday night during the pay-per-view, you can watch us. And I'm going to have to be sitting here with AJ.
But you have fun.
Thankfully,
all the time.
it'll be more of a
blast.
party atmosphere, less business. You know, this is more of an official show, and
It doesn't sound so
the-
businessy. to
the
me.
the watch along, we'll be drinking and partying a little bit. So I'll be able to handle you a little bit better than I am tonight.
Whoa. Hold on a sec.
Whoa!
First of all, we used to have Uncle Benny's wine at the TSN studios. So
Okay.
every once in a while, we had Uncle Benny's wine, so it's not like,
Yeah, how come we're not drinking wine right now?
we're going to have it on Saturday. We're not doing it now because we're on YouTube.
We
Live.
could be popping some bubbly. We could be doing something right now.
Well, we did that for New Year's.
I need a drink talking to you. I don't even drink, but just this whole discussion with you tonight has. I think you're driving me to a life of alcoholism now.
Hey, listen, man, don't get mad at me, but on the chat, everyone's agreeing with me, Dave. Take a look at the chat.
No
They're all
one
saying
agree-
AJ is right.
Yeah,
You
that's
can take a
because
look at it.
it's you going on the chat and saying that, AJ. You're the one. You have a bunch of dummy accounts on the internet. You're very
Look at my hands.
devious.
My
You're the
hands are up
Kevin
in the air.
Durant of radio.
Yeah.
What? That is terrible.
Kevin
Anyways,
Kevin Durant, what did he do?
He got caught a couple of times at having fake accounts where like he replied to one of his tweets going, "Oh yeah, this other dude was the problem," and they figured out
It
it
was
was
him.
him. Yeah, so
Like Mitt Romney.
probably, yeah.
Mitt Romney did that too. He got caught doing that. Good job.
well, listen.
I'm sure AJ loves Mitt Romney, but that's another story for another show. AJ, how about the rest of this card here? UFC 246. Are you
But there's
excited?
the rest of there's more fights.
I
There's
know.
more
Come on,
fights.
be nice, guys. There's some decent fights on this card. There's some all right
no, it's
stuff.
not
No,
about- listen,
I mean
the
Holly
undercard is
Holly
not
Holm
bad.
is cool. We all like Holly Holm, right?
Yeah, but do you think she's going to win this, Dave?
Maybe.
Mm, maybe.
Maybe. I'd say a solid maybe.
I'd say a no. And it's going to be a
Okay.
submission win by Pennington. And this is what's going to happen. She's going in there. Holly Holm is like, everyone knows her, but it's not the same Holly. It's not the same Holly. She'll
Why
probably
not?
do a lot better because they fought like one time, like way, way back. But this is going to be Pennington's fight.
She's only losing to like Cyborg and Amanda Nunes. Like Holly Holm's winning fights, except against the very, very best in the division. So Holly is still very good. Like people definitely think of Holly Holm and remember that she's lost a bunch of fights now. She's lost, 3, 4, 5 of her last 7. But the fights that she's lost, it's the Miesha Tate fight when she lost the title. Then she lost to Valentina Shevchenko, who's the champion at 125. Jermaine Durandamy, who just took Amanda Nunes to the limit in a decision. Chris Cyborg and Amanda Nunes herself in Holly's last fight. So, yeah, Holly's lost 5 of her last 7, but it's to the very, very best in the world. And in between that, she knocked out Betch Correia, and she beat a very tough Megan Anderson. So Holly is still competitive, despite the fact that she's lost a bunch of fights and she's 38 now. You know, she's getting a little bit older. She's still a very good fighter and very dangerous.
My view on Holly's always been a little weird because when she came up, she was like, I think 9-0, something like that, when she got her title shot against Ronda. And I didn't believe in her at that point because I'm like, oh, she's fighting competition that's really not up to par. And then she defeated Ronda and it was super surprising. So from there, I'm like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Holly's actually like high level. But like you say, since then, she's been 2-5. So it's a little consistency she's lacking. She's always a dangerous fighter, but I'm gonna go with Raquel. I'm gonna pick a chance on Raquel tomorrow.
I don't know.
2
I could see
versus 1.
I could see Raquel winning, but
Well, if she stays to her game, she will win. You can't stand up with Holly. You know, one of the top like kickboxers, Muay Thai fighters. You can't play that game with her. I mean, you got to play your game, and that's where Pennington's going to win. She's going to take her to the ground. It won't happen right away. As the fight carries on, she'll take her to the ground, and that's where the submission win is going to come.
I don't think
She
that's
beat
going to
Jessica
happen.
Andrade with a submission. So
I'm going with
you know.
Holly.
all right,
I'm going to
Dave,
get
we won't change her mind.
Holly by decision. I think Holly keeps this fight standing. She keeps distance, and she beats Raquel Pennington. Odds makers are agreeing with me, guys.
Yeah.
They like Holly Holm a slight favorite right now, minus 135. Raquel
Wanna
plus
make some money, listen to me
115.
and Freddie.
Yeah, AJ, you sure about that?
Yeah.
What else you got over there?
No, let go of this. What else do you have? What else do you have?
What else do you have?
We've got
Alexei Olenek against Maurice Green. Tell me
That's-
about Maurice Green, AJ.
He's coming off. I think he got knocked out in his last fight.
He did.
And I'll tell you what, you're fighting Olenek, which he actually lost in the Quintet Ultra, which we saw, which was kind of
Yeah.
surprising because this guy, how many wins does he have in his He has 57 career wins, and he picked up
45 by submission,
and he lost in the Quintet Ultra, which was incredible. So if this fight
which was a grappling event,
which was
submission
a pure
grappling.
So that wasn't too long ago. That was like what, a month ago, Dave?
Yeah.
So he's in shape. There's no doubt about it. But in MMA, it's a very different game when it comes to submission. It's not. This is Olenik's game. He's gonna come. He's gonna submit this guy. He's probably not gonna knock out Morris. Probably submit him, and the win is going towards that way. So if you want to make money, go with Olenik.
Yeah, I would go with Olenik as well. Green has most of his wins, 4 of 8 by submission. Yep. So if he's a guy that likes to submit you, he's not going to do that to Olenik. Olenik's probably going to submit him. I like Olenik by submission as well. Odds makers have him as an underdog. Whoa.
What? Olenik as
an underdog? Hey, let's go there. Olenik plus 110, Maurice Green minus 130. Fred,
surprised.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, Maurice Green was an elite sprinter once. Oh, no, we're not talking about the same dude.
Different guy.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have much of an opinion on Maurice Green, so I'm going to go with Olenik. Surprise a little bit of the odds, but hey, he has a decent record. Who knows? I got Olenik tomorrow, submission.
Do you think he's going to pull off the Ezekiel
actually.
Again? Something crazy?
No.
Maybe. I think it would be fun, right? He's got that crazy Ezekiel choke that he pulls off from bottom guard.
From bottom,
bottom mount, rather.
Yeah,
yeah he gets mounted.
From the side. It doesn't matter. He's amazing. But
it's ridiculous. He baits you into mounting him, like he lets people mount him, and then he chokes them from bottom mount. Like, what? That's not supposed to happen, but he does it. He's got some squeeze on him, right? Alexa Grasso taking on Claudia Gadelha. It's a women's fight at 115 pounds. It's all right.
It's an all right
Claudia's
fight.
a good fighter. Alexa's a good fighter. Claudia's a slight favorite. Basically a pick 'em here, minus 115, minus 110 on either side.
This will go the distance for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think there's no one who's going to be knocked out or submitted in this fight. It's going to go to decision, and it's not like the best fight to have on a Conor card, which I'm surprised, but hey.
Yeah, I'm not super hyped about this fight. I don't really see why.
Well, look, let's be honest. It's Conor McGregor that's selling this fight card, so they don't feel the need to put any other big stars on the pay-per-view, I feel.
But Freddie, as the first fight of 2020...
Who's the second biggest star on this card, like other than Conor and Donald Cerrone?
Holly Holm, that's it. So there's not much.
I mean, she's not that big of a star.
But she's big enough for people to know her, I guess around the world. But really, if you're coming into the 2020, Conor is the name. But it should be that they had bigger names to really push the new viewership for 2020 in the UFC.
I would hope, actually, you see, when they get these Conor cards, I would hope that they would put some young up-and-comers that, they want to showcase. I don't have a name that comes to mind.
I got Cyril Gann. This is a fight that Cyril Gann should have been on.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a fight that we could have had, even Johnny Walker coming back into. You need to hype it up, and you got to do it from the beginning.
No offense, we've seen Holly Holm. We've seen all these fighters, Claudia Gadelha, Alexei Olenik.
Listen, let's be honest.
We know what they're made of.
Dave and Fred, honestly, guys, this is a fight night undercard. Nothing spectacular about it other than Anthony Pettis, which I can see, with
even
Ferreira,
Pettis. I've seen Pettis. I've seen enough of Pettis. Show me some young and up and coming talent. Try to put some flyweights that are gonna challenge for the title. Something,
Yeah, I agree.
It would have been nice, maybe, in that vein, for Macy Barber to be fighting on the pay-per-view.
That's a good example.
Macy Barber is one of these fighters. She's 8-0. She's 21. She's going to be a superstar in the sport. She's fighting Roxanne Modafferi. It's a fight that I'm very excited about, but it's on the televised prelims, on the main event of the prelims, the last fight before they go to pay-per-view. It's a great fight to have as that last fight before you go to pay-per-view, but I would have put Pettis and Ferreira on there instead. Pettis is a guy, former champion, people know. You could put him on the prelim card, and then maybe you put Macy Barber on the pay-per-view so you get more eyes on Macy and people see her. I think she'll still get a lot of shine being the last fight before the pay-per-view, but not as much as she would have got on the pay-per-view because, let's be honest, a lot of people will just watch at 10 p.m. when the pay-per-view starts. You show up at a bar and you're only watching the main card. Some people, of course, in Montreal, there's a hockey game. So the hockey game ends at 9:30, 10 o'clock or something. And then you're in a bar, so most bars are going to show the hockey game and then right after show the UFC. So you might miss the Macy Barber-Roxanne fight if you're watching in a bar or something like that, right? So it would have been all right to have her on there, but who knows? There could be a contract issue with Pettis where he's got to be on pay-per-view or whatever. I don't know the contracts for everybody and all the little details. But, yeah, I get what you're saying, Fred, but there are still some good names on this card. Pettis and Ferreira is a fun fight. It's a decent opener. Pettis is the underdog, too. Ferreira minus 230, the favorite. It's kind of surprising. This guy's good, though, Carlos Diego Ferreira, right?
Yeah, he's an up-and-comer. He's
34, though. How much of an up-and-comer can he really be?
Look, he hasn't lost yet. And you know
yes,
what?
he has. He's lost twice. He's 16-2. He lost. He lost to Dustin Poirier and Benil Dariush.
Okay,
he lost twice. Yes,
I love this.
Yeah, there's such great stats there. AJ comes up. He's an up and comer. Dude's like in his mid-30s. Oh, he's never lost. He's lost twice. Good facts there, AJ. AJ's always right.
Okay, you got me there.
All he's got is a laugh there.
Okay, you got me there. But either or,
I got
like,
you there
Pettis is
twice
not gonna
in a
win this
row.
fight.
I destroyed
What are
you.
you talking about? I got you today.
When?
Check the when we were on intermission there. Freddie
Yeah,
actually agreed.
yeah.
There you go.
He had some
Freddie
good
agrees.
jokes.
Yeah, I did.
Nah, he had one. He had
Two.
one good
I
joke.
nailed you, and then Freddie nailed you.
Jeez. All right.
I love he counts mine as his.
Well, yeah, a victory is a victory, man.
You think Pettis is gonna win?
Look, it's going to be an exciting fight.
What
There's
do you
no
know?
doubt
You
about
don't
it.
know who this Carlos
Listen,
Diego Ferreira
Better
is.
question is if I
You
care.
know, Carlos Diego Ferreira fought one of our buddies. Who was it?
One of our buddies,
Yeah, who'd he fight?
he fought.
Don't tell him, Fred.
Olivier?
Was that a guess?
No, this Olivier. What do you got?
Did he beat Olivier or did
doesn't matter.
Olivier
He
lose
fought
to
him.
him? Did he
Well,
beat
you know
him?
what?
Did he
Where
beat
is
Olivier or did Olivier beat him?
No, Olivier.
I mean,
lost.
he's undefeated. You said.
Yeah. But the thing is
Yeah,
that
he
that's,
did- yeah,
actually,
he
you
did
know
fight
what?
Olivier.
Bringing up Olivier, where is Olivier? Why isn't he fighting? Where are they hiding all these fighters? Where are they hiding them?
I don't know.
It
Do
doesn't
you
make
think
sense.
Macy Barber's going to beat Roxanne?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so
Destroyer.
too.
Yeah.
I think Pettis might upset Diego Ferreira. I'm not sure. Like, he's the underdog here, Pettis. Diego Ferreira is good, but, like, he hasn't really beat an Anthony Pettis type level, like a former champion. So let's see what he can do here. He's very good, but Pettis is too. I think people are maybe underestimating Anthony Pettis. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't-
it'll be a
I don't
good
like
fight.
it.
There's no doubt about it. But
Any other fights on this card you guys care about? Because there are none for me. I don't know who anybody is here. Like, what is this? This prelim card is pretty weak. Who are these people? Who is... I know Andre Fili, but who is Sodiq Yusuf? I don't know him. I never heard of him. He's 10-1, though. Oh, he's one of those Dana White contender guys. There's a lot of these guys on the prelim card. It's like, yeah, whatever.
Drew Gober is there.
This whole fight night really starts with the Roxanne Macy fight and then leading into the pay-per-view. That's when everything really kicks off, right? It's all about Conor. Fred was about to say, yeah, it actually only really starts when Conor and Cerrone make the walk, right?
Yeah.
Well, as you said, I have a party, so for me, that's where I'm gonna be streaming it on my data on my cell phone. So yeah, that's where the night's
You're
gonna
saving
go.
it for that fight. Makes sense.
Of course.
That makes sense. We are going to be here in the studio watching UFC 246, the pay-per-view. So if you're bored by the pay-per-view, leading up to Conor, you want something to do, you want to be entertained, well, watch me and AJ go at it. We're going to be yelling at each other for
Pretty
sure.
much. Like, how many did we go against each other? We went with the Holly Holm. You picked Holly, right?
Yeah, I picked Holly.
So, okay, so we can argue with that one. We went with Olenek on that one, both. So we're okay, except for Pettis.
Yeah.
So you went with Pettis.
I went with Pettis.
And what else? Pa-pa-pam.
Pa-pa-pam.
Who else?
And, of course, we can argue about, who knows the internet better, who knows radio better.
No,
You don't know how to work Amazon Prime. You've never ordered anything online.
I know the Amazon,
But I'm
they
sure-
usually have a poll there.
But I'm sure your internet skills are superior to mine, right? Like, you're way better on the internet, and you've listened to the radio for a long time. Even though I've worked in radio, you know way more than I do about radio.
And
No,
AM
no.
radio is thriving.
What?
Yeah.
AM radio is the best.
Yeah, and it's
you can hear it all over the world.
It's flourishing like never before.
Listen, but think about it, guys.
Opportunities.
AM radio now, like with your iHeartRadio app,
Take it
you
easy.
can listen to TSN all over the world.
Let's have this discussion on the YouTube watch along
Oh, it's
when
gonna be good.
we're not on radio, so we can, express ourselves.
Radio
fully.
rocks.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. We love it. It's the best. And also on YouTube, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. Go to our website, www.ringsidereport.net. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Go follow Freddie on Twitter at FreddieMMA. Follow AJ on Twitter and Instagram at Danny Bruck. You can follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. Once again, Saturday night, 10 p.m., www.ringsidereport.net. Go there. You'll see the link for the live UFC 246 watch along. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight, for listening and watching. For AJ and Fred,
Connor!
I'm Dave, and this has been Ringside Report.
Connor time.
Port.
Port.